Hello there. Glad to have you join us on the news at 7. I am Stella Inamiti and my sign language interpreter is Anna Olayinka. The headlines. Nigeria's economic policy is on the right track. No going back, says President Tinubu. Women entrepreneurs get fresh access to international markets as Russia explores partnership with Nigeria in 6 sectors of the economy. United Arab Emirates and Australia deepen diplomatic ties. President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated some signature projects of the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma. Among the projects are the rehabilitated Owerri-Umuahia Road, the newly constructed control post, flyover, and the Emmanuel Iwanyanwu International Conference Center, Owerri, where a book authored by Governor Uzodinma was presented to the public. The book, titled Decade of Impactful Progressive Governance, addresses the impact so far made by the All Progressives Congress in the last 10 years of its leadership in the country.
Naira's steady foreign exchange reform and new investment flows are restoring confidence in our economy. Still, we are not yet where we want to be. The path has been steep. I know it has been rough. We will continue to walk slowly up, but steadily now, with our arm on the plow. No looking back. We are going to get to the top of the mountain. The sign of recovery is undeniable. Our critics, our enemies, can say whatever they want.
Nigeria has adopted Africa Water Vision 2063 at the 14th Ordinary Session of the Governing Council of the African Ministers' Council on Water in Dakar, Senegal. The vision aligns with the African Union Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goals to ensure water security, safe sanitation, and resilient ecosystems for Africa's future. Nigeria's participation underscores the federal government's ongoing efforts to champion integrated water resources management, climate-smart sanitation systems, and regional cooperation as critical drivers of economic transformation under the renewed hope agenda of the president, and also ensure water security, safe sanitation, and resilient ecosystems for Africa's future. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 6 by accelerating the provision of safe, sustainable drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene services across the country. Usman Zubairu reports that this commitment was emphasized at the annual review meeting of the 3rd phase of the Directorate General of International Cooperation's Accelerating Sanitation and Water for All program.
The Accelerating Sanitation and Water for All ASWA program is a multi-phase initiative by UNICEF, supported by the government of Netherlands, to improve access to safe water, sanitation and hygiene globally, particularly in countries with high child mortality rates. Key players in the implementation of the initiative in Nigeria participate in an annual review to assess progress and discuss strategies for the future. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation explained that the 2nd phase of the project was launched in Nigeria in 2019 and implemented in 6 local government areas in Adamawa, Yobe and Borno states. Despite the challenges of regional conflict in these states, the minister said the program has recorded significant progress in the water and sanitation sector. Approximately 900,000 people now have access to safe drinking water, 775,000 have access to basic sanitation services, and 35 schools and 40 healthcare institutions have access to wash facilities.
Clearly shows that despite all the achievement, more needs to be done through a redoubled effort by all stakeholders.
See a change in the sanitation coverage particularly, and really hope that these changes last, that there's systemic changes that make a difference.
And open defecation, for example, in Nigeria, which is still at 25%, together as partners with the government, with communities, with other Dutch organizations like ACVO and IRC, we can do it.
Nigeria is one of the 8 countries in West and Central Africa participating in the project. It is expected that member countries will ensure their achievements under Ashwa 3 surpass those of Ashwa 2. Usman Zuberu, NTA News.
A new wave of collaboration that offers Nigerian women entrepreneurs fresh access to international markets is on the horizon as Russia explores partnership with Nigeria in 6 critical sectors of the economy. This came to the fore during a courtesy visit to Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu by members of BRICS Women Business Alliance, Russian chapter, ahead of its interactive session with stakeholders in the country. State House correspondent Adeni Itaiwo reports.
By virtue of its status as a BRICS partner country, Nigeria, with its population and economic potential, is often in the sideline of the organization for collaboration. One of its economic mechanisms, BRICS Women Business Alliance, serves as a platform for business-to-business and business-to-government interaction, and its delegation is at the office of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to kickstart its interaction with stakeholders in Nigeria. Welcoming the intervention of the alliance in 6 critical areas of the economy, particularly in healthcare and trade, the First Lady says she is focused on her complementary role to help address demographic challenges in the country and called on the alliance to work with relevant ministries in government.
Since you came in as for entrepreneurship and it has to do with women, and I believe that trade will know how to incorporate the ministry with it, that they can also work in partnership, to fit your requirement. But I believe that you are here to do business with Nigeria. So trade, the Ministry of Trade will be more appropriate to do that. And when it involves empowering women and also teaching them on various entrepreneurial skills or whatever business you want to do, and these women, they also work in collaboration, so they can always assist you.
Recognizing the roles that Nigerian women play in the economy, the alliance says it is willing to promote business inclusive environment with the offer of cooperation in financial literacy, healthcare, creative industries, agriculture, and tourism.
I hope that collaboration between BRICS and Nigeria will serve as a solid foundation for the implementation of large-scale initiatives that will support women entrepreneurs and strengthen the economic stability of our countries.
It also donated 1,000 labor and delivery kits to promote childbirth safety.
Each kit is more than just a collection of medical supplies. It is a symbol of our friendship and commitment to supporting the thousands of women who need special care.
The scene soon shifted to the interactive session at the banquet hall of the presidential villa, where ministers and other stakeholders took turn to explore opportunities for cooperation with the alliance.
I reaffirm Nigeria's openness to business, our commitment to bold reforms, and our readiness to welcome the Russian business community.
If you're considering investing in Nigeria or partnering with Nigeria, the future of Nigeria is digital, and we invite you, of course, to be part of that.
We're working to ensure that women build their economic power. Opportunities like this provides that platform.
Established in 2020, the BRICS Women Business Alliance seeks to promote women's economic participation and foster collaboration among women-led businesses. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
The International Institute of Experts in Political Economy and Administration, Canada, is restructuring its Nigerian office to deliver on its mandate of fostering dialogue on global economic and political issues that affect African countries. To this end, the body has installed Omobayo Marvelous Godwin as the Director General of the regional office in Nigeria, where global activities in diplomacy and issues bordering on political economy of nations will be coordinated. At a press conference in Abuja, the body said it is now well positioned to protecting African issues on a global scale to attract the needed scholarly inputs into governance and development of African countries.
Collaboration and partnership building is to fostering relationships with governments, organizations, and academic institutions in driving the collaborative research and develop innovative solutions in our field. 3, advocacy and representation. We expect him to serve as the spokesperson of the Institute at national and international levels, advocating for policies that support sustainable development and governance reform.
This role matches my passion and my vision to use knowledge, research, and leadership to improve governance, strengthen political systems, and help societies achieve better results for their people.
Federal Government of Nigeria, in collaboration with the European Investment Bank, has officially launched the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project. The EIB-supported initiative is designed to strengthen climate adaptation efforts, tackle flooding, and address severe erosion challenges across 23 frontline states. Charles Alpha reports.
The Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project New Map, supported by the World Bank, was launched in 2013 under the International Development Association and ran for 8 years, achieving significant milestones in soil recovery and environmental restoration. To consolidate these gains, the European Investment Bank, EIB, approved an additional 175 million euros facility in 2020. This financing marks a new phase aimed at sustaining momentum and scaling up the achievements under the International Development Association. Nigeria has made its first tranche of counterpart funding for the project to the tune of 715 million naira. And with this new map, EIB launched here today, it is now equipped with a tool to effectively deal with the problem of erosion and flooding.
We are addressing this project with two components, which has to do with erosion and watershed management infrastructure investment, which is the key issue.
This project exemplifies the kind of high-impact, climate-focused operation we are proud to support.
The project provides for safety as we are investing in flood prevention.
Minister of Environment Balarabe Abbas Lawal believes that while climate change, land degradation and erosion threaten the planet's foundation, the project's success depends on the commitment of stakeholders at all levels.
So with this project, we will scale up interventions to combat erosion, watershed degradation.
The new map EIB will be implemented across 23 states over a 5-year period. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Cultural Council of Chinese Embassy in Nigeria, Yang Xianjing, has acknowledged the vital role played by the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, in advancing Nigeria's media landscape through its quality programs and reportage. He wants a partnership between the NTA and China in the areas of promoting Chinese programs that highlight the activities of the Chinese people. Chinenye Nwoyi reports on the engagement between the Chinese Cultural Council and the management of NTA headquarters.
This visit by the Cultural Councillor, Chinese ambassador in Nigeria, to the NTA headquarters is not just to strengthen cooperation between China and Nigeria, especially in the media field, but also to explore possibilities for joint cultural programs and news exchanges between China and the largest television in Africa, the NTA. Through the NTA, the Chinese Cultural Councillor wants more Nigerian people to know about the life, philosophy, economy, and technology of the Chinese people.
Excellent drummer and film animation administration. They ask our Chinese embassy to recommend works to your esteemed institution to talk with your side if it is possible to, exchange our two sides, program.
The Director General of the NTA is here represented.
I know that there are hundreds of thousands of Nigerians going to China, doing businesses with Chinese companies and so on.
By the time we receive your proposal letter, we can now formally discuss what the partnership would look like in that sense. And we would also look within to see what programs we have that will work for a Chinese audience, which we would also present to you. And I like CGTN a lot.
This visit has no doubt laid a solid foundation for closer media cooperation between China and Nigeria and will help deepen mutual understanding between the Nigeria and the Chinese people through the NTA. In Abuja, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a breather and we'll be back shortly with more news.
Nigeria at 65, a continental giant takes another step forward, navigating the contradiction fueled by a colorful and resourcefully diverse populace, yet questions linger on the destination of state, propelled by the vagaries of nationhood. What is your contribution to this journey? Join the NTA and an eclectic mix of everything Nigerian, from the academic deans to the street kings, who will lend their voices on the platform that has always been a part of the journey. The NTA on October 1st, 2025.
Thanks for staying. In a vibrant celebration of movement and culture, Algeria welcomes the 13th International Festival of Contemporary Dance, where 8 nations converge to display their unique artistry and groundbreaking choreography. Musa Baba Aliyu captures the dynamic sights and sounds from the heart of the festival in Algeria's bustling capital.
In the venerable city of Algiers, capital of Algeria, the 13th annual Festival of Dance and Culture unfold.
À votre genre que j'admire, qui crée en chaque homme un orage. Au cinéma ou dans la vie, vous êtes les plus beaux personnages.
This grand assembly serves as a noble stage for the exchange of cultural riches, presenting a tapestry of artistic expression, wherein their vast traditions are interwoven with harmonious splendor. The realms of China, Syria, Senegal, Russia, Spain, Italy, and the Czech Republic send artists to partake in the celebration. Their performances ranging from the bold and experimental tales told through major steps proclaim the unity of nations through the universal language of contemporary dance. The dancers' fluid, movements, and intricate gestures express themes of struggle, grace, and strong bones, uniting the audience in awe of human artistry and spirit. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
A major breakthrough could be on the horizon in efforts to end the nearly 2-year-long war in Gaza, as U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agree to a new peace plan to end war in Gaza. Habibat Aminu tells us more.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to a 20-point peace proposal put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump to end the nearly 2-year-long war in Gaza. Speaking in Washington, Netanyahu described the plan as an important step towards ending the conflict and advancing peace in the Middle East, saying the peace plan meets Israel's key objectives, including the return of Hamas hostages. dismantling Hamas military capabilities, ending its political rule, and ensuring Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel.
We're taking the next step to win the war and expand the peace. Hamas will be disarmed. Gaza will be demilitarized. Israel will retain security responsibility, including a security perimeter for the foreseeable future.
The proposal, which has been welcomed by several Arab and European countries, as well as the Palestinian Authority, calls for an immediate ceasefire, an exchange of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners, a phased Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, Hamas disarmament, and the creation of a transitional government led by an international body. If accepted by all parties, the US-backed plan could mark a turning point in one of the region's most protected and devastating conflicts, and a crucial step towards long-term peace in the Middle East.
The United Arab Emirates and Australia are deepening diplomatic ties, with leaders from both countries meeting in Abu Dhabi to explore new areas of cooperation. The meeting between President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese focused on expanding trade and investment opportunities, boosting cooperation across various sectors. The two leaders held talks focused on strengthening bilateral relations and discussing steps in advancing stability and peace in the Middle East. The trial of Mali's former Prime Minister Moussa Mara has begun in the capital, Bamako, amid growing political tensions under the country's military leadership. Abibat Aminu reports.
Appeared before a cybercrime court to face charges of undermining the credibility of the state, opposing legitimate authority, and inciting public disorder. The charges stem from comments he made in July on social media after visiting detained opposition forces. In a post on X, Mara expressed solidarity with the men, describing them as prisoners of conscience and vowing to keep their hopes alive. Mara, who served as Prime Minister for 9 months after a decade ago, has recently emerged as a critic in Mali's ruling junta. The military government, led by General Assimi Goïta, seized power in 2 coups in 2020 and in 2021. The junta tightened its grip in July when Goïta approved a law in dissent and consolidating power amid growing calls for a return to civilian rule. In Abuja, Habibat Aminu, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will broadcast to the nation on Wednesday, October 1, 2025 at 7 a.m. in commemoration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. All television, radio stations and other electronic media outlets are urged to join the network services of the Nigerian Television Authority and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria for the broadcast. The Alumni Association of the National Institute, AANI, congratulates President Bola Tinubu and all Nigerians on the nation's 65th independence anniversary. AANI celebrates Nigeria's resilience and diversity while urging reflection on the challenges ahead, especially national security and unity. Stakeholders in the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing in Nigeria converge on Abuja to strategize on ways to curb the menace. This roundtable is to galvanize public awareness and partnership to combat financial crimes in Nigeria. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
The goal of this gathering, which is nationalistic in nature, is a public-private partnership coordinated action against money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing in Nigeria. Participants are of the view that no single institution, whether public or private, can combat the scale and sophistication of financial crimes alone, hence a collaborative effort would be needed to stem the tide. They agree that money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing are factors militating against the economy of the nation.
Our ultimate aim is a homegrown, context-sensitive framework that responds to our unique risk and serves as a model for other African jurisdictions.
Nigeria, like many emerging economies, faces serious threats from these complex crimes. These criminal activities not only distort markets and discourage foreign investment.
Participants are of the view that the threats confronting Nigeria's financial system and economy are increasingly complex, ranging from cyber-enabled fraud and illicit financial flows. They are equally concerned that illicit financial flows are not just regulatory issues, they are national security concerns that demand resilience, innovation, and above all, collaboration.
I urge players in the public and private sector to partner more functionally with all the regulatory bodies to make good success of the existing regulations.
So if all the agencies put their efforts together and combat it as a group, it will be difficult for the bad actors to succeed.
They posit that siloed approaches are no longer sufficient, hence the need for a partnership that builds trust, encourages real-time intelligence sharing, closes institutional gaps, and creates a structured, incentive-aligned framework for sustained.
Encomium filled the air as the general manager of NTA International, Oganya Simon, bows out after 35 years of outstanding service to the nation. A valedictory session was held in our honor by the NTA News Directorate. Francis Udojo tells us more.
This gathering is usually for editorial board meetings, but it turned out to be an event to celebrate Simon Oganya, General Manager, NTA International.
A jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow.
A seasoned administrator who has set a standard, motivated many, guiding them towards achieving greatness. Celebrating her could not have come at a better time than now. The validatory session for the GMNT International had comments from colleagues and subordinates who praised her impeccable and unwavering commitment to duty.
She brought discipline, she brought guidance to us. And then sometimes if certain situations happen that things go out of control, we still talk behind the scene. Then she will now say, don't mind them. She will continue to guide.
Thank you very much for giving almost everybody here a personal touch.
We'll celebrate you anytime, any day. You are a yardstick for whosoever that is coming in to take that position. One thing we can assure you is this: the way we work with you is the way we continue to work.
Others see her as a mother with high moral and ethical principles, an extraordinary administrator, blessed with diverse knowledge in almost all areas of television broadcast.
She is an administrator by training, but every aspect of broadcasting she's grounded. She has guided us a lot, and we are surely going to miss her expertise, her patience, and her guidance.
We're all human beings. So I never look at people from the perspective of you are a boss, you are a junior, you are male, you are female, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim. No. I relate to people as human beings. And that is what has shaped my relationship with many people.
The executive director.
We wish her the very best as she retires from NTA. And that concludes the news at 7 on NTA International. My name is Stella Inamiti, and Anna Olayinka is our sign language interpreter.